Good afternoon, guys. Lexus Driver here. On this video, I'm going to be talking about the main antagonists of the sequel of Puss in Boots, which is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So, when I saw the trailer of this film, um, there's actually three main antagonists of these films, but every film, sure, you can have multiple antagonists in a film, a book, or any other story you make. You can have multiple antagonists, but there's always going to be one antagonist who's going to be a threat. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about the main antagonists of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now I have these here. I found these on Fandom. These screenshots. I'm pretty sure these are also on promotional posters. But on this one, I actually found these pictures. I actually sorted these from least threatening to most threatening. So this is Goldilocks, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Death, and also Big Jack Horner and his baker's dozen. So um, I'm gonna start with the least threatening antagonist to the most threatening antagonist. So why I consider Goldilocks and the Three Bears the least threatening antagonist, even though, like, there's Goldilocks, the Three Bears, the Mama Bear, the Papa Bear, and the Baby Bear. The reason why I consider them least threatening is because, when I saw the trailer, I mean, sure, they look intimidating and look like are villains, but I don't think they're much of a threat because all they have to do is just get the wishing star before anybody else, because we got a brief synopsis of what the film would look like in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The synopsis is after Puss loses his 8 lives, because in the cat's myth there's 9 lives, and and with how they portrayed it in this film, like Puss, he's already on his last life, and like he used up all of his 8 lives, and now he's down to his last life. So Puss, he's getting the wishing star to restore his 9 lives, but it shows that Puss in Boots is not the only one who's Puss in Boots is not the only one who's after the wishing star. So is Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and also Big Jack Horner, along with his baker's dozen, who are also after the wishing star. I'm not gonna include the and also Death. I don't think he's after the wishing star. He's only after Puss's 9 life. Um, so that's why I didn't include this. So back to discussing Goldilocks and also the Three Bears. Why I consider them less threatening is because they're pretty much all their objective is to get the map and the wishing star. That's it. So that's their objective. I mean, sure that it was necessary that they had to fight their way in with Puss in Boots, along with Kitty and Perro, but when I first saw these characters, when I first saw these villains like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they they are portrayed as antagonists, but they don't look very threatening. So Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I classified them in this film as the least threatening antagonist. Next up is Death. To prevent like knowing who his real name is, people consider this character the big bad wolf, and whatnot. But when we watch the film, it's revealed that this character is Death. Um, I don't think Death. He's after the wishing star. Because hence the name Death. He's only going after. He's only going after Puss's last life, because, as stated, that that Puss, he used up all of his 8 lives, and now he's on his last life, in which he's really gonna enjoy seeing how he's gonna achieve that, getting Puss's last life. So when I first saw this character design, I find he looks very threatening and intimidating, and someone you don't want to mess with. Um, when I first saw this, I mean, sure, it's a wolf, it is a wolf, like a gray wolf, an Arctic wolf, whatever wolf it is. It looks very threatening, but I have a feeling this wolf, you could say it's either a wolf or a hellhound. So either way, even though he looks threatening and intimidating and someone you don't want to mess with, I don't think he's a very threatening antagonist. Well, it looks like he's threatening, but his only objective is to see how Puss is going to die, and that he's going to achieve achieve getting Puss's ninth life, like taking Puss's last of his 9 lives, because as he stated that he watched Puss in Boots wasting through all of his 9 lives, all 8 of his deaths, and he's really determined to get his 9 life. But um, I don't think this villain is much more threatening, um, because that's his only objective, to see how Puss will die on his ninth life, and that he's gonna really get Puss's final life etched into his sickles. So I would consider him number 2, on the list, because, well, no, for this sorting, I would just go the numbers backwards. So let me rephrase what I'm gonna say. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they'd be number 3, because they are main antagonists, but they're not very threatening. uh, I would consider Death number 2, because he looks threatening, but he's not as much as, a very threatening antagonist. Um, because Goldilocks and the Three Bears, their only objective is to get the wishing star. For Death, his only objective is to get Puss's final life. Like, how is he going to get it? And also, what also makes this antagonist very threatening is when he does something that's really creepy. I'm pretty sure people who saw this character the first time, like they would say it's like nightmare fuel. But when I saw this character, I don't really care. Even though he looks threatening, I don't think he's much as threatening as whoever is going to be the main antagonist. But the the antagonist, I believe, who is the true main antagonist, is this character. Um, this character named Big Jack Horner. Now, the reason why I consider Big Jack Horner is the true main antagonist, because he's much more threatening than Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Death. He's more threatening. He has much bigger plans, and he also has more cahoots than Goldilocks and the Three Bears, because Goldilocks, her only cahoots are the Three Bears, and the Three Bears, even though they're not biologically related, it felt like family for Goldilocks. So I consider Big Jack Horner a more threatening antagonist. I would consider him to be the true main antagonist, because he's very threatening. Uh, he has much more resources for getting the wishing star, and also he has much bigger plans than Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Death. So I consider Big Jack Horner the true main antagonist. He's much more threatening. Now, yeah, if you could, I'll zoom in here so you guys can see here. Now you can see that this is his baker's dozen. They look like they've outnumbered Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So this is why I consider Big Jack Horner a real threat. Like he's the real main antagonist um, of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Because when you watch, like, when you watch movies, when you read books, like, well, what am I about to say is, when you watch movies or read books or watch plays, etc., like, to get the feeling of the story, if you see like multiple antagonists, like, typically you would find like three, you would have to distinguish who's really the true main antagonist, because the true main antagonist, number one, has much more resource, is very much threatening, and also like uh, not just the main objective, but they also have other objectives. So yeah. From number three to number one, I consider uh, Goldilocks and the Three Bears number three on the main antagonist list, because they're not as threatening, but their only objective is to get the wishing star, so I classify them as number three. Number two is Death, because even though he looks threatening, he doesn't have much bigger plans other than to get Puss's last life. And number one is Big Jack Horner and the Baker's Dozen. I consider them to be number one on the list because these guys are much more threatening. So, yeah. That's all I have for this video. On the next video, I'm gonna be discussing, like, this very interesting character, because when this very interesting character, Death. Now, the reason why I'm gonna do that next is because this is a very interesting character. Even though he looks scary and threatening, he's a very interesting character. So on the next video, I'm gonna be talking about this one. But for this video, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.